You want to know about the Gambian entertainment industry. You want to know the existing policies and programs of the arts and culture sector. You want to know about the governance and management of the arts associations. The program will throw a fresh light on the entertainment industry in focus. We will touch so many angles about the cultural sector, the opportunities and challenges, and interrogate them, and most importantly, offer solutions. Good evening and welcome to another edition of the showbiz in focus. And tonight we'll be talking about the music industry ecosystem and music production in the Gambia and outside Gambia. And I will be joined by two distinguished guests from UK and here in Germany. They are Serim B. Sane and IDOP Music, Mr. Usman Damfa. And my guests, welcome to the program.
Welcome. Well, it's a great honor being here. Thank you very much for having me on your show.
Thank you so much, Mr. Damfa. I know a lot of people don't know you by that name. Even myself, it's today that I'm getting to know that you are Mr. Damfa. So I am very much happy to have you here tonight. And Serembi.
Yes.
Welcome to the show, my brother.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I'm honored.
Okay, thank you so much. Like I told you, the program is going to be interactive, and we'll be looking into the music ecosystem and also production. We are aware of the fact that currently you are doing your bachelor degree program in one of the universities in Scotland, which is very, very important for the music sector because we need professionals. We need skilled personnel, enable skilled personnel to be able to guide us through the promised land, which is to build a vibrant music industry in the Gambia. And we are also joined by one of our favorite producers of all time. And he is no one but Mr. Usman Damfa. A lot of people know him by IDOP Music. He is based in Germany currently. So, Mr. Damfa, we're going to start with you. Can you tell the viewers something about yourself? Who are you, as a producer?
Well, I'm a music producer, songwriter, and a vocal coach. Well, I fell in love with music from a long time. Like we say, not many people know me as Damfa because they know my artist name is G-Mans. A lot of people know me Mans, and I'm a label manager of IDOP Music too.
Yeah. G-Man, wow. So you do music also, and they call you G-Man. So that is very interesting. So you are a recording artist at the same time a producer and a coach. Yeah, and a coach also at the same time. So that is quite interesting. I think we're going to talk a lot about that later on in the program. So, Mr. Sane, can you tell us something about your musical career with regards to the administrative side? Because I can understand that you are a distributor and also a promoter or a manager. If you can clear that to us.
So, for me, I am behind the scenes. So,
okay.
I'm a bit of a shy person in general, so I like to. That's how I could say that's why I like that role. But at the moment, what I do is I'm a music distributor. So if artists produce their music, they want to get it distributed to the streaming platforms, or to try and get like radio play, or to distribute it to media outside of the conventional circles, where you send it to your friends and family. So that's the kind of job that that would entail what I do at the moment. So when you say that in the Gambian sense, and where I'm based here in Scotland, it's quite different. So
Okay.
when I work with Gambian artists, I have to tailor the every artist is different that I work with. We have to tailor it according to what we believe it would be beneficial for them. But background wise, I'm not a musician. I can't sing or anything. I'm useless when it comes to that. But
Mm-hmm.
like most of us, I think um, the earliest I could remember was when I was a kid, when we used to make paper drums, and
Mm-hmm.
we would imitate that. Me and my cousins and my best friend, my childhood friend, that some of us would be Tata Dinding, others would be Jaliba Kuyate, and in the house we will make our drums and those kind of things. So I think that's the earliest it came from me.
Okay.
Yeah,
I can understand that, because someone like me also is like that. I
yeah,
have a good hearing, but
yeah,
at some point, I decided to sing, like, because when I write, the lyrics, they are tight, and I
yeah,
decided, okay, I have to go to the studio and record. But
yeah.
practically, I'm not a musician.
I mean,
I don't, I
I
don't,
mean
but
to be
I
honest,
like the game. Yeah.
I did record two songs, not my own songs. It just
Mm-hmm.
happened. One is with Ghetto Soldier, and the other one was with Dr. Saka, Youngs, Youngs from 3 Years Jotna, and Oms Labaru. It all happened by coincidence. It was never planned. So that's the closest I got to it.
Okay, that is nice, super nice. So, someone like you is just the same like me, behind the scenes working. But again, I was working with the Musicians Union, and a lot of people know about that, and even yourself. I think that was the time that we met and start discussion about the industry. So, we are going to get into the program proper, and we will start with IDOP. IDOP.
Yes,
What does it make someone to have good production with regards to what you do in the studio, with regards to composition? What do you think is the initial step that artists need to take to be able to come up with a good product? Do you
wow.
think it's all about the composition, or it's about the lyrics, or it's about the engineering part?
Well,
Can
both.
you?
Well,
Yeah.
I would say it's both what you just mentioned, But first and foremost is to my belief, I'm just gonna take you from my knowledge and my experience in music.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what makes someone to be a good musician is just to believe in yourself, whatever you are doing.
Mm-hmm.
And the first thing, what I would say, to believe in yourself and to do whatever you're doing, you do it fully. You know,
Mm-hmm.
this is the A on O of everything what you're doing. But now
Okay.
when it comes to professional, you're not doing the music now. There is in everything what you're doing in life, there is steps. And then
Mm-hmm.
I truly believe that if you did circulate yourself with some experienced people and then try to learn and follow the rules of music, and there's no way you can go. No.
Okay.
'Cause, yeah,
Okay.
I take everything for myself because I came from a long background from a DJ. I used to DJ. This is where I got my artist name, Jim Hands. And
Mm-hmm.
then to a vocalist, a singer, and then, but like how I say, how my brother say, I'm a really shy person. I can't see myself right in the stage and entertaining people. So,
Yeah.
so I decided,
Exactly.
yeah, I decided that I would stay a little bit back and go and study and try to help what I could.
Okay.
Them to say
Yeah.
this is why this is how I came to music.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, but again, a lot of people will tell you that Gambian music is a little bit like the quality. A lot of people talk about the quality and the quality has to do with composition. and then the recording also. Quite a lot of people will tell you that they need more live recording, whereby there is something like what you call originality. So how do you ensure that you have that in your studio? Are you doing live recording, or you are just engaged in digital records?
Well, both. Well,
Uh-huh.
I do believe, the time sometimes is what counts right now, because when I start music, we don't have this chance of this digital world.
Okay.
I'm lucky to experience these two, these both sides.
Both sides.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm lucky to experience that, because when I started music, that was nothing like that was a digital, but we don't have access to that because it was too expensive for us at that time.
Yeah, the
So
Cubase
yeah,
and the Pro Tools and all
yeah.
that. Okay.
And no, later on Cubase come up, but we're talking about when the first beats are come up. You don't dream of having those kind of digital studios, because and even the knowledge was not there for me. I will tell you the
Okay.
truth. And then I started, analoging. It was for us to understand the thing. But when it comes to music now, I want to come back to your question that I don't think it really matter right now, the music what we are doing, whether you do it fully or live or you do it with digital, because
Mhm.
now you can take the digital far, 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 far to the level of live. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because most of the digitals right now, what we are producing, they are live music anyway.
Okay.
You know, most of them, 60-70% of the old the digital right now, they're live music. I've been played by someone who you just took my bass guitar and took your bass guitar and take the keyboard of selling and compose them together. But to have a quality music is
Mhm.
it's experience. It's just the
Okay.
experience. You just have to get a
Okay.
good experience. But when it comes to music feel, it's non-comparable to live that man can play. You know,
Okay.
this
Mhm.
momentum, this momentum can never be compared to when I sit down to compose a digital music. No, you can't compare this.
Okay. Okay. So your take is live performance is better, with regards to quality than the digital one. Is that what we are saying?
Now, when we take quality, it's hard to say because it's everybody taste. There are certain music. I would tell you that is very difficult if you want to bring them live. And then because I produce all kind of music. You know,
Mhm.
why in this perspective, I'm gonna tell you that if I want to produce a DJ who is house music, do only electronic music.
Electronic. Yeah, exactly.
It's,
Okay.
yeah. So if I want to drive this electronic musician straight to life, it's gonna be difficult. It's gonna be hard, you know.
Okay.
And he can get his best quality through the electronic music. So which means in the sense of that. But when I have if somebody is doing like a cultural music, let me give example to Tata Dinding and Jaliba, my mentors, music, I cannot drive those people directly to digital, you know, because they give me the feel and strings, the strings that they give me from naturality. I can't just get that from the studio. No.
Exactly. 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 Because you were talking about experience, and
Yes.
that was the reason why I had to raise that question. Because when you talk about experience, we are talking about both the theory part of the music and also the practical part. And then if you have to blend the two together, both the practical part and the theory part, I think we at some point have to know the musical chords. We have
Yeah.
to know how to communicate,
That's
together as
that's
instrumental
true.
players. Oh,
That's
yeah,
true.
even the singer also been able to translate what the instrument players are playing.
That's quite true. That's quite true. Even in the digital, even in digital music production, the first thing you just have to learn. I mean, you don't have to, but you got to learn sometimes to make a very good music. And if you know the music chords. And there are some people they are just natural giving gift. You know what I'm telling you. Some people just born with that, They can just compose songs that you think that they've been to school. And I've met so many artists that don't even know what music chord is. But they just climb on chords like a professional rider horse. The- I can say that those people are also existing. You have the people who have the natural gift. You tell them that, oh, I build this rhythm in a C major rhythm. They don't know what C major is, but they can climb tones. You have to natural.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. I have also seen that before. But anyway, Serenbi,
Yes.
you heard what my boss was saying with regards to
Yeah.
production, and then
Mhm.
you are that person who take the product, like the content. You are looking for content.
Yeah.
So in the business world, what kind of content are you in love with? What do you want to see, and what can you be able to market?
Okay. So for me, um, there's no no two music is the same. Like I don't pigeonhole any like a genre like I used to be before. Before I went to study music business, I was a little bit narrow-minded. I would only listen to maybe hip hop and reggae and some traditional Gambian music. But
Mm-hmm.
that's opened my mind since I started the course, and I've been exposed to so many different kind of music and working in different music environments as well. So for
Mm-hmm.
me, it's about is it playable on the radio?
Mm-hmm.
Does it have a message?
Mm-hmm.
Um, what is the? I mean, the production quality can always be improved, even if it's
Exactly.
a demo. But is it something that is it like an ear warmer? Something that when you hear, it
Yeah.
will stick in here, and like even if it's just a chorus or a small segment in the song, that will it keep coming back to you every time you remember the song. Does it
Mm-hmm.
have some fact? Does it have a commercial aspect to it? Because at the end of the day, if you make music that you can't sell, what's the point? I just
Okay.
see it as running a business.
Mm-hmm.
So if your product is not marketable, you need to look at the product again
Refine it. Yeah.
and refine the product.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what kind of music it is, as long as it's got it, as long as you can make money from it. Basically, that's what it is. People, I grew up hearing musicians saying, "Oh, I do music because I love it. I'm not doing it for the money." I don't buy that, because at the end
Okay.
of the day, if you don't make money, how are you gonna keep making music? That is why our musicians in Gambia, when they grow old, they don't even have a pension, because
Mm-hmm.
the music is not feeding them.
Exactly. Exactly. So you are talking about something important, like the pension part, and
Yeah,
most often,
yeah,
the collective management organizations
yeah,
normally do that, because the royalties that they are collecting from the artist fees, at the end
yeah,
of the day, what they will do, they will establish what you call a pension scheme, and they will also give insurance levies, that they can be able to enter into like some form of agreement with insurance companies, so that they can be able to insure performances. And at the same time, some of the artists who are partaking in those groups, like in the collecting societies. What can you tell us about that? Is our Gambian market ready for that, in your own view?
So in my view, it's it is not Gambia is not ready for it. The reason is we need infrastructure to be able to get all this to work. And right
Hmm.
now, we don't have even there's so many things. Let me not put it that way before people think I'm degrading the Gambian industry. With all due respect, but we don't have uh, like the minimum, even the minimum infrastructure to get these things working, because you need, in order to get these royalties coming in, we need to have an ecosystem where the monies are collected in the first places. For that would be safe for the artist to be paid at a later time. So right now we don't have any system in place, any system in place, one, to collect the monies, two, how they're going to be collected or distributed, and most importantly, how they would be distributed and who gets what share. So not only that, the places that that consume a lot of the music, the public places that consume the music that the musicians should be benefiting from, they, in Gambia, they see it as they are doing a favor to musicians by playing their music in the first place, which is a mindset we need to change.
So you are talking about the radio stations and the TV stations that are using the musical contents, are saying they are promoting Gambian music instead of paying the required royalty fees.
Correct. So the TV stations, radio stations, the shops, whether it's retail shops, corner shops, and offices, as long as it's a public place and they have a radio, they should all pay a license fee for that radio. Even in the banks, they all need to pay. There's one argument that I have about that, though, because I hear people saying taxi drivers need to pay. If a taxi is a vehicle, if a taxi driver is paying, then I think all vehicles need to pay, because otherwise it will start discriminating against which kind of businesses are supposed to pay, which kind of, as long as it's consuming the taxis. I personally, I haven't seen it in anywhere. I'm doing a lot of research about royalties at the moment. That's what my major is based on, and I'll be interested to see how that would work. And
but then we've already made a kind of a case study, if I can call it that way, a case study. We carried out a case study, and the case study is telling us that you cannot be able to collect from the taxi drivers, but what you can do is the device that they are using to be able to play music. That is where you have to levy. That is where you have to levy like these fees, and then it will be collected by probably quarantine officers that are stationed at the Ports Authority, and let's say majorly also at the airport and at the border points. So they can be able to, these quarantine officers, like they will be copyright quarantine officers, and they could be able to collect those levies that are placed on those goods, and then before they enter into the Gambia. Do you think that can also be a solution?
Again, it all goes back to the,
maybe you can strengthen your research on that too.
I think it, again, it's all based on the ecosystem, because if we have a system where things are declared at their port of entry into the country, then it will be, everything will be traceable. But right now, the difficulty is things come in and things are established, places are established that don't even register as a business. So how, unless things start getting getting recorded, it's going to be hard to monitor, because if you don't know what's there in the first place, how are you going to monitor it?
Yeah. That is true. Even my uncle Badu Job is saying that the taxi drivers are supposed to pay for the DJs who don't pay royalties. That is true. But we are talking about the vacuum, because already the vacuum is there for people to be able to pirate, for people to be able to use copyrighted content without even paying. So how can we move forward, bringing forward solutions, and what actions or infrastructure? Like you said in the beginning, we don't have the infrastructure, and that is what we are looking into. That is the reason why we are discussing about it, so that the government could understand that, you know, at some point they need that for the sector, for the entertainment sector.
Yeah, so I think to get things started, because it's going to cost a lot of money and resources to get the things going. Personally, I would say collaborate. When you tell people in Gambia, let's collaborate with Senegal, you hear a lot of murmuring in the background, but already they have a collection society. Nigeria, there's a couple of collection societies there. Ghana, they have a collection society. Kenya, South Africa. So these countries have got a system already, and they're similar countries as Gambia. There's barely any structures there. Even Jamaica has a collection society. Our closest neighbor is Senegal. We can collaborate and learn from them, and by using their systems until we develop something. Because if we want to wait until we have our own, when is that going to be? Our politicians, I mean, the current budget, there's not even any mention of music industry as an industry. They just say in the creative arts, arts and culture or whatever, which is not sufficient.
Okay. Okay. You know, Mr. Job is saying that I'm blending two things which are not the same. I understand what he's trying to say there, but again, I'm just giving you some kind of form of collecting the economies. You know, when we are talking about the tax that are levied and then the royalties, they are quite different. You have different, you have different angles where you can be able to collect monies, and that is what we are looking into. Like what we can say, the economies of the creative sector, how can we be able to collect them? So but he was telling me that I was like mixing the two together, but anyway, that is fine. Yeah.
Oh, okay. You're responding to a comment. Okay, that's fine. Yes, I mean, I think there's also there's another department within the music business in Gambia that we need to really look at properly. These are the so-called recording studios. They're not recording studios; they are pirate studios. Because when you take your music to that shop and tell them, "Here's my CD. I want you to sell it for me. That's my album." A customer comes, they will make a duplicate of that CD. They'll rather sell that duplicate to the customer and keep 100% of that money than give them your original CD, which you make money from. So they're benefiting at the expense of the artist. This is a long-standing culture that we need to work hand in hand with them. I'm going to name drop, unfortunately, because Kerwan Sounds is the leader in the country. I am not accusing them of doing this, but if Kerwan Sounds, for example, take a step and say, we won't sell any duplicates anymore, we will only sell original CDs. When it's sold out, it's sold out. Until we have
I think I don't want to say something about that because he is into production. Mr. Damfa, what do you want to say about that?
I want to comment on that topic. What right now Mr. Singh is trying to do, bring about now all the piracy in our country.
Yeah,
I don't think it's the end. I don't think the problem is that at the end, people. You just mentioned a very important point, right? The whole problem is with us, we the musicians and the art and the producers. We're the problem of all those things, because you see the places like Kerwan Sound and all those things, with or without Gambian music, they've been pirating for so long.
Yeah.
It's not allowed, no doubt about it. I didn't have experience that I gave them my original production. But nevertheless, I'm going to say the man just said a very, very, very important point that needs to be eradicated before we even move in any positions. Because those who consume the Gambian music, so the Gambian artists and the producers, that they are even helping you. So you thank them for doing pirating your music. There's no DJ in Gambia who you're gonna send the music to and he's gonna tell you that, well, he's waiting for you to thank him. He should thank you having that song free.
Yeah.
You know, if he is ready to consume that song freely and even expecting that he should be thanked or be paid for that, I think we have a big problem.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think
Exactly.
there we have a big problem. So where are we gonna cross to collect royalties then?
Exactly.
Which is because if I want to give my song to a TV station, and a TV station say, well, you have to be thankful that you even have your song, right?
Yeah.
And then I was say, okay, I know by somebody is working over there, I need to pay by $500 that my song to be playing at a very TV station. I think we have already started a wrong move.
Exactly.
And then we might not wonder when it's hard for us to build a infrastructure for a royal collecting body, you know. What my man just say it could be a very intelligent and a good move. Now I'm going to say, join people who have been in this move for so long, collect experience from them. Now I'm going to say, collaboration is never wrong. It's never a wrong move if you don't know where to start. Collaborate with people who have been in the move for so long, right? And I came to another point where you're saying how to collect, when to collect, who to charge, who not to charge. We are living in a system where it can never be same like Europe, you know, Africa. We never start. Senegal have been existing for years before me were born. So they have a huge experience of collecting royalties, you know, and they've laid already a background for their artists when they get old, what they have to get, you know. And collecting royalties in Gambia, when they say, okay, if we make it complicated, it might be hard. Sometimes we have to go hard to succeed, you know.
Exactly.
And I would say in Germany, when I live in Germany, whether I have TV or I don't have TV, I pay.
You have to pay. Yeah.
Whether I have it, I don't. If I drive a car, I'm paying already. Before in Germany, they used to come to your house and search whether you have the TV. So now when we want to open a door of a chip or something like in the car, we are creating another manipulative way that they would always go back behind it. The same thing what I was doing. I would tell you my experience in Germany. I used to hide my TV. I don't want to pay that. So what the German government do? They say, all right, nobody have TV all of a sudden when it's come to payment. So they say that if you're registered, you got to pay. So you're not gonna tell them I'm not registered, then you are illegal.
Yeah.
So in Gambia, the same thing, man. If we're ready to collect, we have to say, are you consuming? Money you have to pay.
Exactly.
Whether taxi or whether you're private, you're consuming the funnel.
Yeah. So I think Mr. Damfa, I think that is very important. It's about implementation lapses. Because you have the law and the law is supposed to be implemented. And because the law is not implemented, then you have a problem there. So if you are someone who is dealing with music, there should be some procedures that you need to follow.
Yeah,
and
but
by following those procedures, then there should be what you call taxation. They should say, okay, you have to pay this if you are to be a promoter. You have to pay this if you are at a TV station when you are using music. You have to do this. So in that way, you know, they will categorize everything and then payments will be done. So notwithstanding also, like what Serin Sane is saying, we can simply join SODAC of Senegal because they have a vast experience of collecting royalties and they have done
Or other collection societies.
Yeah.
well, it might not be exactly them, but we can join. There's a variety of collecting societies. You know, I mean, we can join them till we see we can develop our ideas along the way.
Yeah.
We are independent anyway. So we are independent nation. So, I mean, joining people to develop what you want to do first, it's never wrong. It's always a good move, because right now there's so much speculation, so much ideas going on in Gambia about that, and this is very important. It needs to start right now. It needs to start right now. And my point of view is, that very body should be an independent body. We should not expect everything from government. It should be an independent body.
Okay.
Yeah, when the law is being, well, we need government to assist the law that all those laws to go when it comes to punishment, because there will be a punishment behind, because if somebody not obeying the rules and of that, I'm trying to say, because you would find one or two people who don't want to pay, I'm trying to say, but I do believe that the nation is so small that it's not impossible.
Exactly.
It's not
exactly.
Exactly. It's quite possible.
I totally agree. Yeah.
We are people like saying that he took a chance to go and study all these things. So it's not impossible, because we have so much restaurants, so much hotels, so much entertainment, so many radio stations, so much places are consuming Gambian music. If they are paying each and every month a little bit,
and even $100 the whole year, $100 for the whole year.
It's a lot.
So, Serin, can you give us a kind of a statistic, like in a year of collection from the radio stations that we have? Uncle is saying, or join any collection society. Yeah, they can join any collection society outside the Gambia, but also we need that infrastructure in our country. It's not possible.
See, the point is,
it's possible, but the trouble is, at the moment, that's only affordable to artists who are able to travel outside of the country.
Exactly.
No, excuse me. You see, there's one point what we don't fail to understand, right? If a collecting body is existing in Gambia, no matter where I am registered, I'm trying to say, my royalty in Gambia is been protected. I would get them. So if I am registered in Australia, and I told him that, well, my big point is in Gambia. 90% of my music is playing in Gambia. So they will link to that very collecting body in Gambia. So it's the same way, whether you are registered with them or not. So, and then the artists now registered with that collecting body in Gambia are safe.
Exactly.
And without their shows, they're collecting at least their little salary, what they're collecting. They need. And then if those people registered in Gambian body, the Gambian collecting body would link the German body and say, look, what is my artist doing in the country?
Yeah.
So
exactly.
Yeah, with the money.
Exactly.
This is what we don't understand. I'm going to say, no matter where you register, to have the collecting body in Gambia is very important.
Exactly.
Very, very important, because we have so many things going in our country that no matter where you register, you will get your money. The Gambian artists are going to benefit, because that collecting body is going to link all the collecting bodies in the world.
Exactly.
And tell them that, look, Mr. X and B is my artist and this is his code. So what do you say about this year about him?
Exactly.
They think that the collecting body is only coming within Gambia. No, it's not. It's not.
Exactly. So,
I want to comment there. You mentioned something about being independent. I think that is the key, because if the musicians union is independent and stand on their own feet, they can run their own affairs without relying on funding from the government. If a collection society is, whenever it's there, it's independent, they can run its own affairs without being reliant on funds coming from the government, then we will have strong institutions, we will have a strong music industry. But unless we have that independence, it's going to be hard, because we can't do anything right now. even the membership that they are collecting, that should be implemented. I'm not saying anything, because it's Gambia. When you suggest an idea, people think you are accusing them. But the membership that they are collecting, I mean, they could start doing some work that would benefit the artists on the ground. But
True.
when you say certain things, people take offense, because everybody's right in Gambia. Even when you give them ideas, they already know, and nobody wants to listen. That kind of mentality is what we need to stop. We have to keep learning. People, when they're in positions in Gambia, if you suggest ideas to them, they don't listen. The independence, all of that cannot happen when people are just focused on their own personal agenda, rather than being running the place for the collective.
Yeah, but again, I also have a kind of argument on that with regards to people saying not to focus on government, even if you are independent, because in Europe per se, I can take an example of Holland and also Germany. You have a lot of arts organizations that are established, but you can see that some of the seed grants that they are given comes directly from the government. And now you also have like communities where you do festivals, but the communities like they are, I don't know how to call it, the regional administrative authorities, they support these artistic endeavors. And because what is happening, annually, the monies that they are receiving, on behalf of the country, so they have a particular budget that goes directly into the creative industries. And then at the African Union level, the Gambia have signed, what you call the EU Creative Industries, treaty. And in that treaty, it tells them what is their role as a government to be able to support the creative industries. So if we are saying that the government are supposed not, we're supposed not to consider government support, I think.
Oh no! I think.
I think
Yeah.
I think I have one point.
Huh?
We can't take government out of our move.
Yeah.
But the thing is, what we are saying that very body who is gonna be collecting need to be independent. Independence, it means that with or without the donor of government, it needs to move on.
Exactly.
So, but now we are having a lot of, I'm not accusing you. We have a lot of association. Always before we do things, we are waiting for government. We are waiting for that. We are waiting for that. This is what we are saying. Now,
Okay.
I mean, those kind of funds, what you're saying, well, the government don't even have to say that. Those are there for us already. So, and then we just need to demand them, and then we're going to have them. And I'm going to say, because, but that body need to be independent. They need to move. They need to,
Exactly. Their independence will have to be there. Exactly.
Yeah. This is the independent. Because if you say that if I don't get that funds, I will not move, then you're not independent.
Exactly.
And
I agree.
Just adding on to what you said there, Kalilu, it's the same in here in the UK as well. You have even the musicians unions, all these places, a quarter. I'm not like a quarter percentage. They have a certain amount, a percentage that the government contributes to their affairs, but majority that the arts, the creative industry fund them. Just like, for example, the BBC, but the majority of their running costs comes from their activities.
Exactly.
Because they run their affairs as a business, as opposed to an association waiting for a handout. If we do the same in Gambia, we run the musicians union or whatever is responsible, run it as a business. How is this business going to make money? It needs to be focused on how it can make money so that its members can benefit. If the body is not making money in the first place, how can it effectively represent its members?
that is what we are saying. You know,
Yeah,
the vacuum that is created in the Gambian creative sector, like you can see a broadcasting company is typically organizing musical events,
yeah.
whereas the musicians themselves and organizers of music programs like promoters and producers are not doing those kind of activities. And this is where a large chunk of the money comes from. So
How?
it's like institutions that are not preoccupied into music activities and are not registered based on music endeavors are the ones that are like getting money out of the musicians. What do you say to that
Okay,
fact?
so I think there
Mm-hmm.
it's there's something missing there.
Mm-hmm.
They're always encouraged to organize events,
Mm-hmm.
provided at every event here I'll give an example about the UK again. The
Mm-hmm.
BBC or private radio stations like Capital Radio Global
Mm-hmm.
mainly, they organize private concerts regularly.
Mm-hmm.
But what makes a difference is everybody that performs at a registered event, registered, I mean, at a venue that is registered to pay royalties. At the
Mm-hmm.
end of that concert, you all get paid extra royalties, like that's called
Exactly.
performing royalties,
Performance royalties. Yeah.
performance royalties.
Yeah.
These are all things that are missing in Gambia. All these shows that are happening in Gambia, these festivals, all of them, apart from your booking fee, you get performance royalties as well.
Yeah. So
Artists are
there
not
is no
getting
way now.
any fees in Gambia. So that's
Exactly.
why I say we have a long way to go because, again, you need infrastructure to do all of that.
Yeah, but again, the infrastructure, that is what we are talking about. That is why I am saying, as opposed to what a lot of people will say that we can register with other copyright collecting societies outside the Gambia. A lot of
Yeah,
Gambians are registered outside the Gambia, and even
yeah,
some Gambian artists that are in the Gambia are already registered with copyright collecting societies. But we
yeah.
need that infrastructure in the Gambia so that
That's right.
the vacuum that is created in the industry can stop. That's what I'm talking about. So that it can also benefit the generations yet unborn, and then also the young generation that are doing quite well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we need to protect them. We need to protect those people also.
Absolutely. I mean, it's for the personally the way I see it. We need to get started.
Mm-hmm.
All of it cannot be implemented at the same time. However, the the royalties need to be considered.
Yeah, but
A great deal.
now we have the answer. Uncle Badu Job is saying that we can only collect performance royalties when we have a collecting society. So where should we
That's
have the collecting society? We should have an established one in the Gambia. That's what
it
we are
needs to be
looking.
established first before we.
Exactly.
So
That's
I'm
what
just
we are.
giving an example. I'm just
Yeah.
Uncle, but I'm just giving an example as to some of the benefits. When
Yeah.
Kalilu mentioned about the corporates organizing events, what I was saying is it's they're welcome to organize events because extra things that the artists get from those events when it's in UK or in Europe or in other countries is you get more royalties because you get performance royalties on top of your booking fees, which
Exactly.
are all at the end of the day is extra income for the artist. But if we don't have any of the infrastructure or and stuff set up, then artists are losing out on a great deal of money.
Sorry,
Okay.
I'm quite a little bit lost. You know, I don't we have a body who was collecting some kind of fees when we want to organize a show in Gambia.
No. Okay. You see, that is a
That's
problem.
for international.
I
That's
just
You
want
are
to make
right.
international.
I just want
You
to
are.
make that. I just want to have knowledge of that because we're talking about collecting body, and but there's a moves going in our country. We need to make things right first, because I remember if you want to do a show in Gambia, you paid a certain amount of money to a certain amount of body, right?
For international artists.
But for international artists only.
Yeah,
International artists, they charge a levy on them.
All right. For international artists, but who is organizing this show?
Mainly Gambian promoters.
All right.
Gambian promoters.
Then we are lost here. You know, I'm gonna say the artist came. The artist is gonna pay. Is gonna get his payment with or without that payment, right? And he's gonna go.
Yeah.
But Gambians are the one. Gambian promoters are the one organizing the show. So
yeah.
And this fee is already paid only when the Gambian promoters invite international artists, right?
Yeah.
Something
exactly.
Something is wrong.
You know, that's the thing. And like when you tell people in Gambia, they take offense. But the way they're doing things at the moment, it's against the artists themselves.
Yeah, something is wrong.
It's not in favor of the artists at all. Because even that, I think it was 10,000. Last time I heard from somewhere, if somebody, please correct me if I'm wrong. I think it was around 10,000 or something like that. Even that, who does the money go to? Because every artist that performs on that stage, they should all be equal. They should all benefit from that, aside from their booking fee. So if they're collecting from the international artists, where does it go to?
But this exactly that's what I want us to clarify because
because I asked that question, a legitimate question, to the Director General of National Center for Arts and Culture. I mean, because they came up with what you call an endowment fund. An endowment fund, they said the fund is going to support Gambian creators, that is the artists, and then through that collection.
This is exactly. I don't really cut. You know what? Exactly what Mr. Singh was saying. You see, there's a point what we collect, and we don't know that. We don't even know why we collect. It's the most important thing. Mr. Singh was saying performance royalty. Right? Exactly. This is why it is collected. Each and every artist, everywhere you're playing, you give your playlist, right?
Yeah.
Playing,
yeah.
Exactly.
The promoter is gonna pay the royalty of organizing that song.
Exactly.
So you, that very artist, need to deliver that list to that very collecting body that I performed here, and then you get a little bit percentage of what the promoter paid.
Yeah.
This is what performance royalty come from.
Exactly.
It's not come from nowhere.
Exactly.
The performance royalty have been paid for by the promoter.
Exactly.
If they are collecting only if I bring international artists, I think something is confused here.
It's wrong. All these festivals, all these every show.
It is very wrong.
All these mega shows, like the venues, it's not in favor of the artists at all.
And then,
but again,
and then if that is collected, where is the money gone?
The money is going to the council, and then that is the money that the council is saying that they, like, for instance, if they support the Musicians Union for their Congress, so they indicate that, they took that money to be able to give it to the Musicians Union to support them when they want to do like activities like musical events. Those are some of the monies they will claim that they give it to the musicians or the artists or other people.
I think Mr. Sering did mention here very, very, very important, very, very important move. I'm going to say we need to make that very serious. Is that collecting body need to be independent.
Because musicians need to be independent.
If you are not independent, you can never be accountable. I'm going to say, so it's just like any other company that has been established in Gambia. If they misbehave, what goes wrong? The GRA is at the door. The next thing, they have to answer that the court. So goes on. But as long as we know that very independent, that very body is not independent, they will be start giving donors. What you saying? This is a donor. I'm going to say, I just want to move. Okay, let me just give you a thing. Who is accounting that?
Yeah, we have a little bit problem here because I always listen to the comments of the people because they are participating in our program. Uncle is saying that artists are not necessarily equal to creators. But what we are saying is when you bring a system and procedures and infrastructures which the cultural sector is supposed to have, and then intendedly it is the collecting society and the copyright as a law that governs the environment. If that has been done, then you will ultimately know what a creator is supposed to have and what an artist need to have, what a producer need to have, and what a promoter need to what a promoter should is entitled, and also what a broadcasting company is entitled to do. So if we don't have that, then we have a vacuum.
Yeah.
So that is why we have experts like Serin for them to break it down, why we need those things. Why do we need that in our country, Serin? Because Badu is still a given. Yeah.
To be honest, I'm a bit lost. I think from what I could see, I'm just trying to glance through what he's writing. I think he's pretty much. It's to me, it looks like we're pretty much saying the same thing. It seems like he's emphasizing what we're saying, because obviously we spoke about the need for collection societies, and we mentioned about the performance rights, but one thing I just saw there, that creators are not equal, artists are not necessarily equal to creators. That's very true.
That's
Because
true.
a songwriter, even with these big DJs, these big artists like Beyonce, or who else can I name, Ed Sheeran, or you name it, whoever writes this song makes more money than the person that sang the song.
Exactly.
The person we see singing songs does not necessarily, if they don't write the song, they don't necessarily, it doesn't necessarily mean that they own 100% of the money coming into that song. The songwriters, like Danfa was saying earlier, is a vocal coach. If he writes a song, somebody's writing a song, and he wrote a melody for them, or he wrote a verse on the song, he's entitled to that. The songwriters make more than the performers. I think that's what Badu is trying to say here.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I think I understand what Uncle Buddy is trying to say here, because
Yeah.
if we want to have a if we want to have a now the real topic about the songwriting, because this is a big confusion right now. That's going.
It is a minefield. It's
Is it?
unless you look into it, and different countries have different ways of operating, and like the percentage share and everything is complicated. So you
It's
need to
it's very
look
complicated
at,
because
yeah, it's very complicated. Different countries have different ways of working it out, and there's no one size fits all, to be honest. But
Exactly.
in general, the writer, the artist, they make more than the person we see singing the songs.
Exactly. We
I,
know about
I
it. And that comes to our question to Ido.
yeah.
So all the rhythms and the songs that you are producing, are they exclusively, composed by you?
Well, not all, because in music journey you have to work with people. You know what I'm trying to say?
Exactly.
You have to work with people. You have to be a broad mind. If you want to gain. But I just come to the straight to the point. Most of my rhythms I build them myself.
Mm-hmm.
Then to enlarge the rhythms and make them more nice and fat, like what we say from the first beginning. I welcome other artists on board, like a bass guitarist, because I'm not a bass guitar player. I play keyboard, but I'm not good in bass guitar. So I would welcome someone who is who can play that better than me, and try to listen to my chords and play them again. And
Mm-hmm.
here comes the songwriting, and then I think this is exactly what my uncle is trying to knowledge here about the job, and is that there's a big confusion right now, especially in the young generation coming out right now. You will start you will start making your first interpretation, and then you call yourself a songwriter, which is quite,
Mm-hmm.
which is quite wrong. And a songwriter is entitled to somebody who writes songs, not basically who just interpret lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where the confusion is right now. And I'm going to say, and even when entitled to copyrights in copyrights laws, and then I would not call myself a producer. A producer is somebody who invested in music.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So basically, is if I have a manager who invests on me and give me all the money to go to the studio, he's the producer.
Exactly.
So and right now, but I sitting down here sometimes I'm bored. I start building with him. You know, I start write songs. You know, I just take my pen and paper before anything I do. You know, I take my pen and paper and start write chords. You know, and then I try to interpret that chords. You know, till I get my satisfaction, and then I build everything around. But
Exactly.
within the music, like what you say, you know, I learn to open my mind and hear my colleagues what they can do and what I'm doing. So here comes
Mm-hmm.
I share also my knowledge to many of my mentors. You know, I have a lot of people that I've learned my music career from Jamaica, Canada, US, and in Gambia too. Can't forget my mentor Kebatelo. He is from my zero number one who taught me what music is about. You know what I'm gonna say?
Mm-hmm.
So, and here comes that my music is not always exclusive either music.
Exactly.
No.
Exactly. So that is very good. So the multifaceted nature of the music industry is what you are talking to us about. The need for teamwork,
Yes.
starting from the singer to the instrumentalist, and then the person who put them all together in the studio. And
That's
Celine, why is that important in the business aspect?
Sorry, I'm a bit lost there. What was
Yeah,
the
I'm
question
talking
again?
about the multi-sectoral nature of the music industry generally require all the different players to be able to play, their roles in unison together. Like, so how is that important in the business aspect?
I mean, it's just basically it's like the industry is just like a big puzzle. So
Mhm.
different parts of the puzzle, you bring them together. That's the same when you have the producers, you have the retailers, you have the distributors, the the DJs. It's all a part of a big puzzle. So with every missing piece of the puzzle, there's a breakdown in the picture.
Mhm.
So that's why it's important to complete the puzzle to see the bigger picture. Because without that, like the benefits you can get from the big picture is still missing.
Mhm.
Am I making sense?
Yeah,
Without
you're making sense. Yeah.
without like everybody in the ecosystem, there's still
Mhm.
something missing. But with a complete ecosystem, then it's easy, one, to monetize creatives, and two, it is easy to run a business in the industry, and
Mhm.
also to make it viable, that people can make it as a living, as a source of livelihood, where even kids can say, I want to be a musician and be proud of it, rather than when you say, uh, I'm involved in music, people start looking at you in a stereotypical way, as in you're a bad person, or you're not gonna achieve anything in life.
Okay, so but again, in the cultural entrepreneurship point of view,
Mhm.
what are the what are the models that you will be able to encourage with regards to music business ideas that you will sell out
in
to
in, Ga-
yeah, in Gambia?
in Gambia.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
think so. So personally, I we need to have the local governments. We need to have business people. We need to have the TV stations and the radios. We need to have them come together. I remember when I was growing up in Brikama, we had youth center, we had the community center, and big shows will go to Box Bar. I think there was only DJ Kora and Lamin Cham. But right now, there is no venues in Gambia that you can say is owned by KMC anymore, or you can say it's owned by Brikama Area Council anymore. Oh, I don't know about Banjo. Okay, if we have these facilities that the centers specifically for entertainment, live venues. Okay, these live venues, this collection can be it can even be tried out there on a small scale, because at every single venue, for example, if there's like what's the name of that venue that not Q City, let's take Q City for example.
Q City, yeah.
Q City, for example, they decide and say, for every event, we will take 10% of the gate fees and pay that back to the artist as royalties, as performance royalties.
On negotiations, when there is a negotiation between them and a collective society.
No, I'm just saying, if you run it on a minimal scale, and QCity do that, you run that as a trial in QCity, just to give a flavor of what the bigger picture could be like. Okay,
exactly.
You do that at QCity, and you see the response. Obviously, it's going to take a lot of resources. It's going to take a lot of manpower to do it nationwide, but it has to start somewhere. You have to. The industry has to be viable for the artists before it can start seeing progress. Apart from that, I'd also encourage us to establish how do you call it, retail premise, more retail businesses. I know things are going online, that's fine, but there's a lot of merchandise that the artists create and make all the time, and they sell it by themselves. Imagine if there's a shop where you can go and buy you can buy their CDs, USBs, or their T-shirts, their cups, and pens, whatever merchandise they decide to make,
and all that. Yeah.
Yes, and at that shop, if you're releasing a song, if you're releasing a single or an album, you go to that shop and do a sign-in, as well as selling your merchandise. Like their income, they're gonna see a different. That's a new income stream for everyone, because the shop is gonna get increased business because of the footfall, and then the artists as well. There'll be increased revenue coming to them.
Exactly.
So I think those are things that could be implemented very easily without much investment.
So what about touring bands? I find that very important for a dynamic creative culture, whereby bands will rehearse with these young artists, or even some of the musicians that we have, especially with the traditional artists who are always playing instruments, to form themselves into groups and be touring the country, so that we don't only entertain in the capital, but we can also go inland and entertain the people in Basse and in Bansang and Makati.
Exactly. So that's where the venues come in, because if there's Brikama Area Council decide to invest in a venue, let's say Mansa Konko, they decide to invest in a venue, and Basse, all the regional hubs, they decide to invest in a venue. That's going to create local jobs for young people. Number one, it's going to, the artists. It will encourage more artists to go and tour inland, because right now they only go to small nightclubs, and that only attracts small crowd. But if the facilities are there, it doesn't have to be a state of the art, even with the basics. But if the facilities are there, it will encourage more artists to take big tours inland. Okay. So,
yeah.
So that's. I mean, I don't think it's rocket science. It's about having people who know much about the creative industries
Exactly.
to help with these strategies. But if we
Exactly.
want the regular civil servant, they just say, "Ah, go to the Arts Council," because they pigeonhole the whole everything into the Arts Council, which is a big mistake.
Exactly. And then, Seren, I must say I'm very much impressed because, I mean, yeah, already it's like a review of the cultural entrepreneurship training program with regards to the business models, the merchandise side, which you were
Yeah,
talking about. And then, we are going into the touring, the
yeah,
band touring. You can see that frequently in UK, the
yeah.
musicians, like as a promoter, what Uncle Badu was saying, the musicians union is the biggest promoter of tours, because they carry out a lot of tours in country in UK, and then they have support for that. Some of the finances that is coming to the musicians union, that is what they give to some of these touring bands to be able to go inland, and also, do you think about advocacy stuffs also? Is that also another kind of a model whereby raising awareness about some of the social ills that are happening in the society, to be able to educate the people about that? What do you say to that?
Yeah. In general, we have a lot of
Mhm.
educating to do in our industry,
Mhm.
because the artists are role models. All these
Mhm.
thousands of fans that follow them, it's the artists themselves that need to take upon themselves and look at a cause that's dear to them and champion it.
Mhm.
Okay, and that, because they're in a position of responsibility already, whether they know it or not, whether they want
Mhm.
to take responsibility or not. People look up to them on a daily basis. So
Mhm.
that they personally, again, I'd like to see more artists coming out and say, I'm starting a charity, no, or I'm affiliating with a charity, or I'm volunteering in the community to help fight this kind of ills in
Mhm.
our society, or these misconceptions, or to empower young people, or to encourage people to do things. But
Yeah,
when
we
you
are seeing
see,
fire. If I can help you in that, we are seeing fire disasters. We are seeing
yeah,
also the pattern of the rainfall
rain,
patterns are
yes,
changing, and then
yeah,
we are experiencing a lot of crop failure. And
yeah.
probably, if they can, think about ideas where to, to partner with communities to be able to support them as role models, I think that will
So
also make the
yeah, I
people
mean,
to love them more.
yeah, some actually I've seen, because I follow, I watch a lot of content online. Sometimes you come across unusual videos, especially on YouTube. Some do school tours, which is nice. But my question there is, what benefit are you taking to them? You just go to a school and perform in front of them. They're happy to see you, but what is the change that you've effected, or what is the change are you trying to effect? That
Mhm.
there's a difference between going to your fans for them to see you
Mhm.
and actually making a difference. You can set
Exactly.
up, there's different ways of doing it. There's no one size fit all again, and it's unfortunately, that's so maybe the artists themselves need a little bit of education on that bit, so that they can take it up a lot more. But
Okay.
something I'm just gonna go back on something, if you can allow me just for a second, please.
Okay.
Say something about the touring you mentioned earlier. So
Mhm.
countries like Mali, not only Mali, but Mali is a good example that I always use. Every year, their cultural sector, they bring they bring a selected group of artists that go on tour in Europe and the UK, right?
Mhm.
Imagine if the Gambia arts and culture does that on a regular basis. There's so many musical events that happen around the world. I know they've attempted a few, but again, it's not about showcasing it's not much about showcasing Gambian culture and Gambian music.
Mhm.
Previously, they'd send a cultural group, they'll go and come back. It's not
Mhm.
about, but they don't come back with business. they don't come back with it with projects that will benefit the industry. So this is something, again, I'm appealing to them. If they can look at, there's a lot of music business conferences, events that happen around the world every year. They can pick new artists from Gambia that would go to these events. And then with the hope that when they become successful, they'll represent the Gambia and they'll bring jobs and investment into Gambia.
Exactly. Sorry to say, if I write to NCSE right now and tell them if they are aware of some of those activities, I think they will say we are aware. But again, the number of people
Will they
that
listen?
from those things in reality is not happening. And that goes to my question to Mr. Damfa. Why Gambian music, and what did you think could be done better to market and promote our cultural? Here I have to be specific, our cultural music, because I am very much aware that we can be able to make fusions of different genres of music, and with our culture, putting it into the modern style. What do you think could be able to, if that can take us far?
Yeah, well, I'm a little bit confused when you say cultural and music.
They are all the same. Music is the
Yeah.
science.
Well, I would say that I think we have a great chance. We have a great chance if we will do the things right. And this is your question is the answer is gonna go back to Mr. saying what exactly he was saying that about taking Gambian music in abroad. I think it's not the position of that arts union right now. Music have no boundary. If we do a good music, that very arts and culture have no resistance because the demand of that very artist would ring to their ear and they have nothing to do just to carry that job. You know what I'm trying to say? But it happens from all straight. Yeah, just look at it. Let's be factual. You know what I'm trying to say? Because sometimes if we assume many things, we need to be factual. You know what I'm trying to say?
Exactly.
We have to know which Gambian artists are now crossing the border. How many Gambian artists right now? There's something what's going on in my country right now. I'm very happy. The hype, very big. But how long shall we carry the hype? You know what I'm trying to say? Where is the hype is gonna go? Are we gonna make it as a music or is it gonna remain only hype? This is what carries you. This is what you can be selected to represent your country to go and play abroad. Mali have a long history of music. Because music, Gambian musicians used to tour Europe. Badu was there, Keba was there. They used to come to Europe and tour Europe, but they came with music. They don't come with hype. I'm trying to say, so here we have to differentiate. If you want to cross border, you have to start making music.
Exactly.
Hype doesn't cross you no border. And I'm gonna say, now there's a hype in Gambia. I contacted an international producer, which is not even far away, Senegal. He told me, mention me one Gambian artist. I wanna bring them to Senegal to do things. If I say one name, he said, no, it's not ready yet because I watch all the shows. I named the next artist. He said, no, man, I can't bring that. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
I sit back to ask myself, what is wrong here? You organize a show. Now we have a big hype in Gambia. One show, 215 artists in one stage. This is what is a hype. It's not music. So now ask those artists just to break it down on one artist to organize a show, like Badu and Kebas and all those things have to do before. One Gambian artist to run a show and perform for the crowd 25 or 45 minutes. You take it out from our people. I'm not discriminating. I'm just saying the factuality. That's to cross us like Mali is doing to take us abroad. Here we have to work hard. Here is the point that we have to work hard to take our music and be if the demand is there. We have many Gambian artists are coming to Europe anyway. when they come over to Europe, we perform before the, one or two Gambian societies.
Yeah, maybe in the clubs, in the corner clubs.
I have here, we have a big promoters here. I like Garlic, John. He is an international promoter in Germany.
Yeah, Garlic. Yeah, John. Yeah, Garlic.
If that man is a businessman, I just give you an example. If he have this package of a Gambian musician,
someone is corrupting
taking their music across the border, he is gonna invest. I know so many, he's gonna invest. But hype cannot sell here. Music sells here. Hype remains when we make groups. So it's positive that we are making the hype now. But how long we should go with the hype?
Oh, the network.
Are we going to take the hype to the music level to represent us? This is where
what is happening. We are not.
I'm hearing clearly. And I think Mr. Sterling mentioned very, very, very important points right now that we should really put in consideration. I see my younger brothers right now in Gambia.
I think we are losing you. We are losing you. Your hands are touching something, so we are not getting you at the moment.
Me?
I can hear them.
Yeah, you have to check your speakers.
Well, I
think you are getting us, but we are not getting you.
I'm getting you.
No, I can hear him.
I'm getting you.
Seren, are you getting me?
Yes.
And I'm getting
Seren?
you.
Yes. We can hear you. Maybe it's yours, Kalilu.
Yeah. Seren, are you getting me?
I'm getting you, Kalilu, and I'm getting Mr. Saying here perfectly, Kalilu.
Yeah. Maybe it's you, Kalilu.
Kalilu. Yeah. You see,
what's happening?
Yeah, saying that this is the point. What is very clear to me now. I think we should support this. We should try to educate our people about that. That we should take the music serious. It's not only the hype that takes us out of the country. It's the music, and to believe in what we are doing is much important, because you will not want me to give you my hype. You can't sell my hype. You want to sell the music, and the hype helps in the sense. But if I want to produce a music and I have a little hype around here, and then at the end I deliver you the music, and then you find out that, well, this is not even what IDOP was telling me the whole time, and this is not the noise what I'm hearing. I can't sell this.
Yeah, I mean, I quite agree, because that's why even my publishing, I don't open at the moment. I'm not open to work to take to work with everyone at the moment. I'm just pecking at what I believe in. Somebody might hear it and think, but this is everybody's not listening to this. They're listening to to Mr. X, okay? But for me, I see something in it before I put attention to it. I listen to a lot of stuff, but I have to consider it in different contexts. Is it beyond the hype? Is it something that is exportable? How do you envisage this in a live setting? How is it going to appeal to an international audience, regardless of the language? And these are the things that encourage me. The projects that I work on, these are the things that I look at. And I don't look at it for what artists need to also understand is you can make the hype today, but remember, money is not going to come overnight. Be prepared for that. When you tell money is never going to come overnight, be prepared for that.
That's true. That's true.
Whether you're going to get a part-time job or whether you don't think the music's going to bring you money overnight. People need to get this. They need to get this right. They need to understand this. It will take years before you start seeing serious money. And that, like Badu was saying earlier, it takes investment. You have to invest the money into your music and make quality music, which your fans, even where where you places you wouldn't normally go to, try and go there. And
Exactly.
there's so many things we can talk about it the whole night, and we can't finish. But it's again, like you said, that Damfa, it's a pity, because the amount of hype that is coming out right now, the source, like you said, you see 100 people, 100 artists. That's an slight exaggeration, but you see 30 artists, and the stage is crowded. I noticed
On one lineup. Yeah, on one lineup.
the last couple of weeks, in some shows that they've now started to get people off their stages. But we've seen big concerts in Gambia that you cannot tell who is the performer and who is the fan, or who is the crew member. You can't tell the difference.
Well, exactly. This is what Buddy was trying to type over here.
Yeah.
I'm very excited about this musical conference. Kalilu, I should thank you very much for this. Because
it's a different one.
Yeah, and I'm very grateful, Mr. Singh. I learned a lot from you. And
oh man, the same here. Likewise.
and then this is what really concerns me. It's not a joke. This really concerns me about. You see, I never see this kind of hype before. I spoke with Kalilu few days ago. Positively, I'm happy seeing this happen, because I see the youngsters are having fun of what they are doing, and this is also it's another therapeutic way of in a society that they would focus their joy within certain level, without it decrease the crime rate. It's all positive in a society. We see this kind of positive hypes where the youths are enjoying themselves in certain level and even earning money there. It's all good, but we have to know that one day we will get older, and every day we're getting older and older. So how are we gonna transform this hype to a profession? So now we should not see that without not debating onto that, because if we don't debate, we cannot blame them tomorrow, because it's quite impossible that it is working. Because when I spoke to a promoter in Senegal 2 days ago, I said, why I was never saying this, He said, mention me one Gambian artist that we could bring to Senegal for tour. But it should be a very, very, very big Gambian artist. So for me, my mind was going to big. I'm trying to say, big is big. Big is someone who bring a lot of people.
My mind is going to big.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, my mind is big. But the big I learned yesterday, the big is not that.
Yeah, because just to break that down, if you take Tata Dindin to Senegal and you just take him to TFM, I mean, they bring him a batch of let's say 5 instrumental players. He doesn't need to look on the ceiling and then start to play with them. They just have to speak on the language, and then he will play.
Exactly.
So yeah, if a promoter went to your show in the Gambia and then see to read that, all the hype that you are talking about, at the end of the day, the way you are performing, there is no band, behind you. Or I don't know how to say it. I don't know. You guys are the technicians, so you have to break it down so that people can understand.
But
one thing that always annoy me, I really, really, really get frustrated when I see that, is when they're performing on shows, okay? They play a full show, a full like it's not even a backing track where you say it's only the chorus, but they play their it's just like a playback of their song, and they're saying they're performing to that. You're not performing to the song. You're just enjoying your music that's playing.
No, we say miming.
Exactly. Mr. Saying, this is why we're saying hype. This is the hype. But we are saying the hype is growing. I'm going to say, how long are we going to take this hype? we might not mention much a lot of how it is going on, but my advice to all the Gambian artists, all the artists, my fellow brothers and sisters, is grab an instrument.
Mhm.
Try to grab an
Mhm.
instrument. Yes.
I need to
Even
get my charger.
yeah, grab an instrument, and then if you play a guitar, you can't go wrong. You play a keyboard, you can't go wrong. You know what I'm trying to say? Even you're drumming, you can't go wrong. Because
Mhm.
right now, if I if I would meant to give that promoter in Senegal, the so-called artists that I mentioned, and they came to the Senegal TV station, and there's an interview there, and they say, all right, well, we love your song, One Love, One Heart. It's taking Gambia in a storm. And then they start playing acoustic. And then the man, they bring a keyboard player, and they say, yo, what chord was that song again? Let me just try to find the chord. And the man say, what you mean? So he's lost. Selling is trying
Problem
to
solved.
yeah, the man cannot go nowhere. All what he can do is play him the original CD with the vocal, and he just lip sing. And this is exactly the which is not taking us from Gambia. I would love to see this competition. I would love to see my artists start competing musically. You know, if Gambia artists start competing musically, this is gonna take us far. But this hype and playing the track from studio, your vocal, everything is on it. You just try to lip sing on it. As long as the crowd is there, those crowd are going to be grown up tomorrow. They might not want to hear that, so you're gonna be left out. It's just today.
Yeah, there's one thing I'd like us to touch on a little bit, if you don't mind, Kalilu. I know you'll probably come to it, but the visuals.
The visuals, yeah.
Yes. So I like to see more stories. The picture quality is getting better, but sometimes the 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 picture doesn't tell this. It tells a different story from the song. Oftentimes,
Yeah.
in fact.
Yeah, but again, that is where we have Amidiba. Do you know him? Do you know her? She also lives in UK. She's now coming
Oh,
into that to be able to tell stories. I think that
and
is
no,
very
no,
concerning that
no,
you are
no. What
talking
I
about.
meant,
Mhm.
I think I know. Is it a CEO's wife? You mean?
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah,
Host wife.
yeah. Okay, yeah. No, what I meant the visuals. I mean the music videos. So,
Exactly.
so they oftentimes what they portray in the song, it's not. It doesn't relate with the music, and it's very frustrating. Um, I, I was working with a couple of projects recently, and the video guys, they just insisted that they'll just do what they do, and they don't like to be told, edit it the way I want. I want the way the song goes, basically the way you want it to be choreographed. They don't like that. They think what they produce for everybody else is the best. And they a lot of times, well, these couple of projects I've been frustrated because they even simple things, think out the box, and make this slightly different from what you normally do. People are too lazy to do that,
Yeah,
and it will only stay in Gambia. Outside of the country, people are just going to look at them and laugh. It's
saying I would comment onto that to make it easier and social. Do you listen to those songs from the beginning? You know, for me as a producer, then I don't really. It's not a surprise that those visuals come that way. You
mm,
know, I'll come from the beginning. How do you make the song? There are some Gambian artists who bring their visual right because
to life.
they write the story
Yes,
before they even
picture
sound
it. Yeah,
the
they
sound.
pictured it.
If I come to the studio and I say yes, and you record it tomorrow, I say I'm gonna come and say you and you. Day after tomorrow, I come and say, yeah, well, it's not about you and you, man. I love you, and that's what I'm gonna say. And the man say, yes, let's add I love you in it. And then the I love it add into it. And the next day, and I say, Kenya is fighting, and I add that at the end. So how do you think that is gonna make a visual point? You're gonna confuse me, confuse the guy who's gonna shoot the video. Then I'm trying to say bringing that as a
And
picture
confuse
is
yourself.
difficult. It's quite very, very difficult. But there are some Gambian artists, definitely. They're good writer. They write nice concept. You know, we if you just listen to the song, right? Here comes. You give it to someone who is good choreography, who is good visual writer. You give it to get the guy. He will say, "Well, before even I hear the song, I know what it's about." Yeah, but most of the
Again,
time,
it's all about being willing to invest.
this is it, and try to write stories, try to write concept, try to write concept. I'm facing this every day when it comes to music mix and mastering.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just lay out the vocal. I ask myself, what does he want to say?
Okay, I'll get it when I'm done. Okay. What are you using? I'm not finished. I'm not finished. Something move for it.
That is very good.
This interview is all about that.
It's also important.
And Kalilu, it's all about from day one when you just sat down to write something, and music is just like a blood. When it goes, it never come back. You know what I'm trying to say? So this is why we have to sit down and write. What do we want to sing? What do we want to sing about? You know what I'm trying to say? And when it comes to visual, like saying, I'm not comparing to Hollywood. Now we're having the best of best HD cameras and all visual qualities is going there. But when it comes to concept now, we should allow also that there are some people in our country who are good into that.
Good at that.
I'm going to say, in music, this is why many people ask, IDOPS, why is your music so good and so clear and so? I don't do everything alone, man. I tell every big secret of people. This is my big secret. You know what I'm trying to say? This is a secret. It's no secret. This is the way the music should go. Actually, even everything have to go like that. When I know that I mix a song, I will pass it to my colleague and listen to his opinion. He is the best keyboard player. He will tell me, man, no, man, the keyboard cannot go like that, man. It can't go like that. You do it like this and do it like that. But in our society, we should also encourage and try to educate this. We should accept this as artists. That I did my part. You know, I sang a song, and to my knowledge and my feeling, now Mr. Sering is so good in visual writing. Let me contact this man and say, this is my story. How can you bring this visual?
Exactly.
Mr. Sering will say,
pay the right fees.
Yeah. Then Mr. Sering will say, okay, tell me what you feel about this song. He write, okay, I know Pademba. He is very good in choreographing. He can bring this in dancing. He knows when I explain things, he will have a vision to bring this. We have dancers. Let's bring this together and enrich our music. You know, and make the music rich for outside. And if people even turn up the music with only the visual, they start seeing art.
Yeah.
They start seeing art. But this is how, if you send me a song, this is how first thing I do, I just turn up the audio and start looking at your visual. Sometimes the visual tells me something different of what you are singing if I turn up the music. That's exactly what Mr. Sering is saying. Let's allow that the journey I'm doing, I have started a craft that is huge. As a singer, you know, that I have...
You need a lot of people to work together with you.
Yes. I need to employ people. I need to employ people of the craft I'm doing. It's not reducing anything from my income. It's increasing.
Yeah, because it's giving you quality and at the same time professionalism. And, you know, we were talking about that also with regards to songwriting, because you can see an artist can have a great voice. Yeah. But again, the words that he is putting together, because, you know, maybe the words are not that much solid. So you might need someone who is good in writing poems. And we need to identify those people also in our country, because even in the education sector, we have seen people who are writing books, and we have great Gambian writers on poems. We have great Gambian historians. You can be able to use them to be able to write a song for you. Don't you think that
Exactly.
could also be possible?
Well, Khalil, you just mentioned a very important point. If I'm an artist in Gambia, I come up with an idea. First, I would just go up to one school teacher, sit with it, and say, "Yo, look, I'm an artist, man. This is what I'm just writing. What do you think about it?" And grab the one poem, man, and say, "Look, this is what I'm trying to write. What do you think about this?"
Exactly.
And at the end of the day, I wrote a song. Knowledge of people, I make it greater.
Exactly.
And this is why those songs would everlasting song. They would ever stay, man. They would ever stay because you try to give rooms to people that you are versatile. You are, you're open-minded. You want to do something. Because if you would link to be artists like you should do one of those. They have advisors around them. The best presidents have advisors around them. A best leader have a great advisors around them. So the greatest musicians have great advisors around them. Michael Jackson used to surround himself with big writers, man. The man will have a terrible ideas and then terrible dreams, and only from his dream, and then songs will come out.
Exactly.
Because you surround yourself, you allow it. But our proud is going over our thing. Sometimes, we're proud in each other. Man, can nobody be Nelson? Man, like my deaf. Nobody. You don't need nobody to write a song for you. You just need to be open and make your song solid and nice.
Gambian lacks people. Uncle Badu is saying Gambia lacks people with tertiary training in arts, music, film, theater, dance, plastic arts. And then that also comes to the question that we need an institute of arts in the Gambia. And for that to be provided, a private institution or a private person can be able to invest in that. But also, there is a question that, a private person can invest in that. And then government also can invest in that.
I've seen one such with is it Sona Jabate?
Sona.
With her music school with the kids, which I think is it needs to be lauded, and she needs to be encouraged by the government. If the government can't do it, she needs to be empowered to take that around the country, because that is a good concept. That, like we were saying about royalties, if you cannot build it, collaborate. She's got the experience now. So if they task her and says, "Can you help us build this into our curriculum, in the school curriculum?" How easy could that be? She's promoting Gambia. She's traveling the world right now. The number one touring artist from Gambia right now is Sona Jabate.
Exactly.
That's quite true.
So
she's going all the way to China.
If she's given all the due, if she's given all the due, and they recognize her and empower her to help the Gambian creative industries, we'll see a difference. Not only her, but she's just one example.
You know what happened yesterday? I was talking to an institution here in Germany, in Nottingham, Mr. Danfa, and the CEO of the institution told me that last year they were trying to get Sona to Germany, but see, it's very expensive.
But
you see,
but it's not about the.
I don't think we can get her because they are trying to get a visual artist in Germany.
But Carl, I think we should be proud of that. We should be proud of that as Gambians.
I'm
represent Gambia.
Again, but it's expensive.
Because I'm proud he's expensive.
Because the thing is, he is doing music.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say?
And regardless of the language.
This lady is doing music. You know what I'm trying to say? And this lady is carrying music. He have a lot of musicians around it. You know, if you would break down the expense, what she's charging, and
Yeah.
what is he's investing in music is not
Yeah.
even expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
So,
no, the question is,
And
the
then
question is,
she
yeah,
if
travels
it
to the
is
band
another Gambian
everywhere.
artist,
So
yeah.
she's creating multiple
yeah,
jobs every single time she performs.
Yeah.
So she's a good, an excellent example of what Gambian musicians can do. We run it as a
exactly.
business,
Yeah.
employ people in the business, and run.
Mhm.
Then you become successful. I think if the young generation right now sees a number one example that they can look up to, and see how she's done it, again, it will
Exactly.
be interesting to learn from her. I'll be very keen to hear an interview with her talking about her journey, but also how she runs her empire, because
Yeah,
we will
you
learn
don't
a lot
talk to
from
her
that.
over the price. When you write to Sona and said we need you to come to our maybe our program or something like that, we want to book you. She will tell you, okay, let me send you an email to my manager, and the email goes, so the manager will be there to ask you several questions. What do you need? When, and then these are our prices and all that. So
That's that is what you call a musician. The professionalism
exactly.
needs to be there. She doesn't need to do any of that. That's why you have a
Mhm.
management team. They handle all of that.
Exactly.
They come and tell you, Kalilu, you are performing in Bremen at 5 o'clock on Sunday.
Hmm.
This is it.
Kalilu, you have an interview with CNN. That's their job.
Hmm.
All you need to do is focus to be creative. That's what the
Exactly.
artist is supposed to be doing. But in Gambia, they run everything. They control everything.
Well, well,
Exactly.
It's a
well,
one
well,
man empire or a one woman empire.
I think in Gambia, Gambian artists they're willing um, to be managed. But I think here there's a lot of confusion that's coming to management in Gambia because we confuse manager and a sponsor. You know what I'm trying to say? So
Yeah.
when you artists have to pay the manager, so what they so, so
I
most
like that.
most will be thinking that the manager have to sponsor you. This is where the management is hard in Gambia right now, because if you say,
Exactly.
I signed to me as I'm his manager. Oh, he signed to me. How
Exactly.
much is manager gonna give me? No, you have to give manager the money.
Yeah.
You employ the manager. So you
Uh,
employ the manager, you should pay the manager.
yeah.
But this
Mhm.
is where the misunderstanding is coming about. And then I think we need basic understanding about music, and and
I'm
and
a,
and, and this is why it's very important. Khalil, do your best to get ladies like Sohana on board. Let
Yeah.
what I mean, get those successful Gambian artists, get them on board who are just having a full package around them. They have
yeah, that's
management.
why I was telling Uncle Badu that I need him. I will get Sona here. I will get probably next week. I will get
You
Surasu. So I'm
And
intending to get
yes,
Surasuso. And
and,
then
and you
I know a couple of Gambian, Uncle Sankun Jobate in Norway. He has been playing guitar for Senegalese
they are very
musicians
successful.
all over.
Sura also, and his brother, they,
Yeah,
we will learn a lot from them.
Answer is
exactly.
In
Exactly.
Gambia, Gambians,
I can even
as a
I can even
Gambians,
share a story.
yeah, I'm just saying, for people like Shura, Gambians, eh, we don't give them the respect they have. Okay, but when it comes to white people, they respect these people, and they're always on tour. And
Exactly.
these are the kind of people we need to learn from, and
Hmm.
we need more of what you do, and more things, a lot more than this. We need people to be interviewing artists who have been and gone, like for example, Mohawk with Energy Sounds. When they were
Hmm.
at the peak of Energy Sounds, they went so many places. But you had
Exactly.
fugitives. The fugitives
The fugitive.
experience was what brought Energy Sounds until now. He's doing Block TV. So people
Hmm.
like those kind of people, even Pa Usman himself.
Hmm.
Okay,
Hmm.
and is it Panjai, the guy that used to run One Gambia
In Sweden, yeah, in
in
Sweden,
Sweden?
Panja. Yeah.
People like them, we need to learn from them. because
Yeah,
they have.
the Soul Souls who have been taking Jaliba Kwete and the others to America. I get a list of personnels. I can go on and go on and go on because I was groomed at the local level to be able to
Yeah.
learn from the Jali society. I used to live in a Jali family in Kanuta Kunda, the home of Banda Kanude. I saw ballet dance right there. And then from there, I was managing King Cora, who was having by then a 12-man band, a multinational
Mhm.
band in Switzerland, where you have a saxophone, trombone, trumpet, you have the kora, you have a Senegalese guy playing on the percussions and all that. So my mindset of the music with regards to the composition or the setup is not a little bit short.
Mhm.
Is very wide because
Mhm.
I saw these people their rehearsal on an underground in Switzerland. Can you believe it? Nobody talks to anyone. Everyone comes with their car. They just go downstairs, and then everyone comes and they said, "We are ready." Oh, how are you doing? Guten Tag or Guten Morgen. Bam, the music rolls. So you can see the quality.
One
Yeah,
language.
they don't know.
Professionalism, yeah.
The
They've been
language.
giving
They
you
just
chords.
don't
They've been
know.
giving you chord from house. They know music is one language.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is why we are saying this. Let's turn the
Mhm,
hype for music. We will
mhm,
come anywhere we go. Anywhere we go. Even in China. You know what I'm saying?
mhm.
Right now, even in China, right now, you just go
No,
and
you
then
can have.
if I sit down to play some chords of
Okay,
some
this
song
part I'm
that
in
you
a
might
house.
on the keyboard,
Fine.
you would just flow.
Exactly,
You would just
exactly.
flow. Let
And
me
then,
say,
I will be quick to say that all what we are saying, we are not trying to belittle on what
Yeah.
other musicians are doing right now in the Gambia. Our intention is to get things right, and our intention is to see that an artist like Gisul, who is having the hype, an artist like let's say Tishmol, or an artist like Royal
Oh boy.
Messenger will be able to go far internationally, not only in the Gambia, but again, we can be able to exploit them all over the world. And that
well,
is the intention. That is the reason why we are talking about all those things. And, it's a moment of sharing of experiences, knowledge, and ideas to get things
At,
right. And
to,
yeah,
mhm. To add on to that, on a positive note, I think it's also important to encourage all anybody who wants to get involved in music to see it as a business. Okay,
exactly.
so you are going in it to make a living, going
Hmm.
in it to fulfill a dream. You're going
Hmm.
in it to be able to afford what to be able to afford a lifestyle, a
Hmm.
comfortable lifestyle for you and your family.
Hmm.
So run it as a business. Run your ideas past people,
Hmm.
and don't assume that you know it all, but get creative people beside you, but get business minded people around you as well, so they can help you to run an empire. If
Hmm.
you do that, people like Diddy in America, he's got TV networks and everything, started as an artist.
Hmm.
Jay-Z, and all of them. So we look at look at how what positives you can pick from this conversation, not what we are saying that could be improved. We're not castigating anyone or criticizing. It might sound like
Exactly.
criticism, but
Exactly.
personally, when I deal with anyone, I tell you, I'm gonna be honest with you. Even if you don't like it, my words might not be. You might not like what I say sometimes, but that's what I see is what I'm gonna tell you. Because if I lie to you, then I'm not helping you. If I tell you that, oh, you're doing great, you don't need to do anything, you don't need to improve your music, I'm lying to you, and that's not being honest. So
Yeah.
what we're doing here, we are being honest about what we see, and
Yeah.
well,
So somebody is trying to correct me that T-Small have his own manager and he lives in Europe. I know about that. I was just giving an example. It was a bice spill.
well,
That was just an that was just an example.
well,
I was just giving
you know,
names. I don't want to give names, whereas some people will hold my neck to say, "Oh, you were talking about someone else." And
no, no.
like
I
I
mean,
said,
I think they will understand that because there's a variety, a lot of Gambian artists who know to learn a lot and follow the rules and know how to live in music.
Exactly.
But still, we are debating and we're trying to. We want our country music to go far.
To go far. Exactly.
More and more.
Exactly.
We know that I saw T Small was touring Europe. He must have a strong team behind him, messenger and all of them. But nevertheless, we are still lacking of a lot of things. This is why we are here today to debate and to see a betterment of tomorrow. We have there's a lot of Gambian artists who are engaged in management, but when it comes to percentage, right now a lot don't go that way. I'm gonna say this.
I just give you one example. There is this boy who lives in Latrikunda, German. He was a young kora player. They call him Amadou Suso. His father was Bajali Suso, the late Bajali Suso. And Bajali Suso is the son of Suntu Suso of the Gambia. Now, what happened was when Amadou was playing kora, he was very, very young. At the first time he went to the studio, I could remember we took him to the studio. Now, Amadou was playing in the band of Yus Van Gogh, and then some Australians came to that performance in Zakaranda, and they decided to invite Amadou and Yus Van Gogh to Australia. So both of them are living now. Yeah, both of them are living now in Australia, and that small boy, when he was leaving the Gambia to go to Australia, he was almost nearly about 21 or 22, if I could recall. And right now, Amadou is touring all over Australia and other parts of Europe because of just a single man kora player. So he's having what you call now a band will come, like an influential band that will play electronic music or so. They need a kora, and then Amadou will be playing with that. So right now, as I'm speaking to you, most of the people that we are talking about that are doing well in the music scene in the Gambia, that small boy, when you look at his level is over.
That's
because
the thing is.
The kora, yeah.
The thing is a recognition in Gambia, okay, because the exposure level there, I have a small grievance, especially with the press union, because they did an award ceremony earlier this year, I think a month or two ago, where they categorically, I would like to see entertainment reporters being awarded. Okay,
yeah.
you're getting agriculture. Not saying they no disrespect to any categories, but entertainment creates a lot of jobs in Gambia right now, and everybody, whether you know it or not, in Gambia is exposed to the music industry, directly or indirectly. Whether you listen to cultural music or to modern music, so it should be as equally important as anyone reporting politics. But the Gambia Press Union of all, there wasn't any categories for entertainment. I was very disappointed when I see that. So it will be difficult for our musicians to be exposed in that manner, because imagine the way they write about politics. If they're encouraged to write the same way as entertainment, then the industry will be a lot more influential than it currently is. The artists will be a lot more exposed than they currently are.
I totally agree with you. We have only 2 minutes now. We have gone beyond the normal scheduled time. But again, I just have to ask Mr. Damfa IDOP 2 questions, 2 in 1. It's going to be 2 questions, but I will put them together in 1. Your production label, is it a private entity or is a partnership organization? And then the second one is, what are some of the the records, like internationally, that you have accomplished?
Wow. It's a joke. It's a joke. 1 million joke.
Yeah, just name us an international record, like an international record that have a multifaceted, phase in Yeah,
Well,
not only Gambian, but
all right,
here
okay.
and there.
Well, I produce almost a lot of international artists, Canadian, Jamaican, British, my first record label was not Idol Music.
Mm-hmm.
I started a record label called Megaforce, and then
Mm-hmm.
I held that record label because that was a joint business. I was the label manager there, you know. But then I literally created the Idol Music, But I produce almost internationally. I work with all kind of music. I produce from reggae, hip hop, R&B, even some kind of chill out jazz, techno music. It's the most um, international music I do right now. I would say it's film synchronization. You know,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Okay.
So I get involved in the film industry to make the
You
synchronization.
make music also for film industries, yeah, like synchronization music. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And
Great.
yeah, and yes. But with the Gambian artist now, the first Gambian artist I work with was Singate. You know,
Mm-hmm. Sing art, Freaky Joe.
yeah, Singate back in the early 20s, And yeah, in those days we don't have no digital MP3. We have to press LPs. I produce a lot of LPs. It was a long
Mm-hmm.
vinyls. So we used to press the vinyls too. And yeah, produce the. What can I tell you now? Is the music is this is what I do in music is my life. It's been my
Wow.
life since one, and then it's always my life. I start DJing from DJ. I tell you about the music. My DJs. I start DJing in the early 1996, 1995, 96. I was the first reggae DJ in Austria, and then I formed a Megaforce in 1999, and then the 2006. 2006, I gave up the Megaforce, and then 2010, and I started the IDOP music.
I dub music, yeah. And that is around the time that you started working with Singate when he was like
Well,
also
Singate,
in the way.
yes,
Yeah.
Singate was there when I was running IDOP music, same time working for Megaforce. So Singate came through the Megaforce, and then the first time and the second time through the IDOP music too.
Exactly.
He's the artist that I've been working with him from day one. Up till now, we're still working together. You know.
Yeah, I'm just impressed. Like yesterday, you can see the development from an artist to a producer now. He's producing good music. Yesterday, I was impressed with some of the quality music he was um,
He's
like
exactly
showcasing with
what
the
you said
Brikama
yesterday.
boy. Huh?
What you say yesterday that is an example to each and every Gambian artist, that is not limited. There's no limit when you come to music. You can do it. You can try to do everything if you want to do it. You know,
Exactly.
Singate went through a lot of tough things. Trust me. I endorse him a lot. He went through a lot of up and down. And he presented an artist, Laminator, who I invited in my studio to vibe with him. This is my point. It's not a music production, it's my strong part. My strong part is vocal coaching. You know,
Hmm.
to sit with people and vibe, write songs and tell them the right notes, which is really most of the problems of our Gambian music sometimes.
Hmm.
Because if we
Hmm.
don't know, if we don't know the note we are singing, sometimes we end up wrong. Quietly, we guide ourselves through auto tuning and all those things. But if you know the right tone, you can't go wrong. So
Hmm.
this is our problem, and then I think that we're gonna learn that tomorrow, and if we are willing to do. This is why I say let's grab instrument, an artist try to learn. Sing how to grab an instrument.
Hmm.
He grab an
Hmm.
instrument. I told him that along the way you will start
Hmm.
laugh at yourself what you have been doing before because now you
Exactly.
know you know how to press on. You know what I'm trying to say.
Exactly.
But to make it shorter, Kalilu, I'm very, very thankful to being on the show. And Mr. Sering, I learned
We,
a lot.
we will give you a time to talk about your last statements. We will come to that. Serin, I
Yes.
mean, you gave me some business models, and these were quite good. And I think a lot of people are going to learn from that. So, what are your last words with regards to music business? What do you think should be done right?
So again, I'll go back to saying the artists need to take it as a business. You're running a
Exactly.
business. First things first, when you plan to get into music, just like anyone, I see in Gambia, people always say we need a constitution. We need forget the no. Let me rephrase it. Okay, it's not only about the constitution. Write your business plan. It can be one page. Okay, you can have a one pager that will show you this is what I'm going to create, but this is how I'm going to make money from it. This is how this is what I want to achieve. I want to be interviewed on this show or run a business, but have envisage the business, have a plan for the business.
Exactly.
That way you will be able to go further. But if you just want to take every day as it comes and you sharing your music just on WhatsApp and stuff, it's not going to work. Always also invest in the music. When you have $1, say $100, is $5,000, invest some of that money into your music. But also, again, for me, it's always about the business. People are going to be depressed with me trying to say take it as a business, but that's what it is. Run it as a business. Anything you have.
What do you say to the fact that public-private sector investment in the creative industries?
It's great. It's great. It's great, provided the artists know what their rights are.
Okay.
Provided the artists know what their rights are. I mean, when I went to Gambia in March, I tried to meet up with someone. Let me not mention his name. Who works in the legal service? Who works in like the legal services? Okay, to try and see. Basically, it was just I was just trying to get a chance a conversation with the person and see how the like the law students, for example, in Gambia, could be encouraged to get into entertainment, because these are all how do you call it, important aspects of in the industry that are lacking.
Yeah, in the enforcement side and also protection. Okay, I understand that. Yeah, but I think it's coming up because we have quite a lot of university students who are into law, and then now they are having some kind of feeling for the music sector. Seren, I don't want to cut you off, but I mean, that is important. But I think we will have you again on this show. I would like to thank both of you for coming. IDOC, what are your last words to the young generation? What do you want to tell them?
Well, my last word to the young generation is saying have just ever tell that was my last word. That was my last word. You have to see the art as a business. If you don't see it, if you don't see it as a business, you sleep home.
Oh my God. Okay, but saying
because you see the thing is, why the things going wrong right now, because we don't see it as a business right now. Right now, and people would take opportunity above you. Right now, Gambian artists, they want to do a show, they will run to. I don't mind to say that they will run to Africell or QC for sponsor. They will not get sponsored. They will just use them and go away.
Yeah.
And sponsorship is a business. I provide to promote your stuff. You pay me.
Yeah.
This is it. But they don't see it as that way, because if they don't see that their art as a business, they will always be searching for help. Help would not make your business go nowhere.
Exactly.
We have to see our musicians as our business partner.
Exactly.
They don't need our help. We have to see them as our business partner. If we invite them in any move, in any show, in anything, we have to pay them equally. They have to charge us. And they have to believe in what they are doing. And they have to start charging in everything. They have to see it as a business. Mr. Seren just mentioned everything.
Exactly.
But now you want to release a song, you just have to run and hustle and go to this place and say, I want a sponsorship. Can you help me this? Help you now, help you nowhere.
Exactly.
Look for your business partner. Give them a good business concept. Look, this is what I have on my music. I can take your product with my music to this level. Yes, I want that. How much can you pay me?
Genau.
Then they say, I would advertise your product to that level. But now, because they don't know the value of their music as a business, so they are looking for help.
Yeah.
But
In
don't you think we have to enhance on the quality and professionalism? I think we talked about that already. We don't need to go back.
but this is my last word. Let them see their music as a business from the first point, and then they
Exactly.
will invest in their music. Mr. Badu just write something. Invest in learning music.
Invest, that's one. Invest and learning in music. I like that part. That is quite well. So, gentlemen, thank you so much for
Can I?
coming. Setting.
I know we.
Okay, I forget. You have to talk to your professor is watching you right now. I don't want to make that mistake. Can you thank
No.
them? Yeah, going
Oh,
to.
oh yeah. Oh, you're putting me on the spot now. Okay. Okay. So I'd like to say thank you so much for the opportunity, basically, because without them, I wouldn't have known so much that I know today, and I'm very glad and proud of the opportunity that I got, and I see that I know that personally, deep in my heart, I'm convict. I'm convict. It's a conviction in me that I know that my skills are going to be needed in Gambia, and I tell everyone that, even whoever it is, even from day one, I always make sure that I tell everyone that for me, when I finish, what I want to do is to go back and help the industry in Gambia. So, and they've always been very encouraging of me. They supported me from day one. They like the concept, they like the idea, and they're always encouraging. So I think for me, I could only say thank you so much for the opportunity. It's been great. But I want to leave a takeaway for the musicians. Use social media, fine. However, use social media to benefit your business. TikTok at the moment is the in thing. All your music, when you distribute them digitally, they should go to TikTok. The videos that we are making, the short videos that people are making, encourage friends and family to make them for with your songs, because all of that are generating money for your music. So artists, please, even Instagram, they've started embedding music into there now. Even Facebook, your music, when it goes on Facebook, you get I'm not sure about the royalty bit about how much. I'm not sure about the how much right now, so let me not say. But Facebook, Instagram, the big one, TikTok, right now. Please utilize these platforms and encourage people, encourage fans, encourage your friends to share your music on these platforms, to engage with your music on these platforms, because these are the small little bits that will add up and bring money for you. And obviously YouTube, the big one. If you can invest in your music, go with Vivo, because you get that gets you money per view. So that's what I'd like to close with.
Well, I would love to take the opportunity to thank the Gambian Talent Powers and his crew. I see the great work that they've been doing within the media in Gambia positively. I would love to thank each and every one out there who've been doing good for the Gambian music. And Kalilu, what I can't express my honor being in this show, you know. And I thank to each and everyone listening and following Kalilu on this great journey, you know. Likewise, I said I'm very thankful. Thank you very much for having me here, Mr. Badu. You have been in this show from the starting. I can see that.
Yeah.
Respect to you as an elder right now. You follow this show and try to invest and give us the knowledge. Aside, I'm really impressed. Trust me, and we should follow you. Not you. You should follow us.
Yeah, Uncle Bado, exactly. Thank you so much, Mr. Idop. Thank you so much for coming, and also Sering. Thank you so much. You've been sharing great knowledge in another platform that I will not mention, but you know, since that very moment, I know you can be able to share a lot of issues here, and that is the reason why we try to bring you, because I mean, it's not a one-man show. It's about, you know, collaborating and also building partnership within the creative industry of the Gambia, and to start that important conversation whereby we can talk about policy, we can encourage about policy formulations, and at the same time finding solutions to our never-ending, you know, conflicts that are happening within the creative sector. And until you come our way, we will want to tell all our beautiful listeners out there and viewers that we thank you and we wish you a great evening. And next week again, back again on this platform on Gambia Talent TV. Paos, thank you so much. And all the controllers of the system in the Gambia, we thank you all for providing us the opportunity to be able to express ourselves. Good night.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kalilu.
You want to know about the Gambia entertainment industry? You want to know the existing policies and programs of the arts and culture sector? You want to know about the governance and management of the arts associations? The program will throw a fresh light on the entertainment industry in focus. We will touch so many angles about the cultural sector, the opportunities and challenges, and interrogate them, and most importantly, offer solutions.